Okay, so this had a lot of challenges. So, first of all, Arrow was in the carrier, so his head was bobbing in and out for quite a while while I was drawing. But the upside to this is I had both hands, so that's all good. And so I'm working on some kelp prints today. Yay. So I had this vision of just like seaweed kind of going straight up, and then a friend of mine had this idea of having two of them that kind of look like they stacked on top of each other. So that's kind of what I was going for in this. Now I wanted to do it in black and white just because I've been loving working with ink, and I also like kind of the watercolor effect. So I'm doing kind of both all in one. So now another one of the challenges of this was kind of keeping track of where everything was laying, because I had leaves overlapping stems and stems overlapping leaves and like the bulbs in between, and just there's a lot of components to keep an eye on. And then like also too, with a lot of the kelp leaves are actually kind of translucent, so you can see some of the leaves behind them. So it's just keeping track of everything. So it was quite a bit of just checking back with the drawing and sketching and whatnot. Then as I got into the actual like kind of painting part with the inking and stuff, well, first of all, I had a ton of issues with recording. My computer quit recording partway through, so sorry if it skipped a little bit in there and whatnot. I think between my son being kind of cranky today and my computer not working, I think I was literally working on this all afternoon. Like, it was maybe only an hour and a half of actual recording time, but it took me like probably 4 hours to get everything all in order. So there was that. And then I was also a little frustrated with how the ink was working. Now, something about this particular ink that I'm using, it is India ink. It's from Hobby Lobby. It's the Pro Art brand. And it's not before, like, my very first experience using ink, I was using Higgins non-waterproof. So I don't know if this is just because it's a waterproof ink or if it's the brand, but this particular ink is almost kind of gummy. So I have a really hard time getting it to flow properly on the nib of like the actual ink pen. And then on top of it, it was rather frustrating trying to get it to water down in just the right way. So it was a little bit deceiving in the sense of when I would lay the ink down, it would look really, really dark, and then by the time it really dried in this kind of light wash. So I kind of kept having to go back and layer some more and just keep working at getting all of the values in there. So now as far as like the gumminess and everything, it was a little interesting just because I had a very short working time with it. So with watercolor, you can kind of go back in afterwards and lay some water down and lift the pigment and everything. But because this was waterproof ink, like once it was down and dry, that was it. You're done. So if it dried rather quick, I had some kind of undesirable like brush lines and whatnot in there. So just little things here and there that kind of bugged me about it. So I do want to go back and actually get some non-waterproof ink. But the upside to having the waterproof ink is that when I laid down like the stems and everything, I could go right over the stems with my leaves and everything and not worry about lifting any of the pigment and everything. So it was really nice to get that layered effect with the waterproof stuff. So each one has its bits. Alright peeps, thanks for watching. If you like this video, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And if you're wondering when this print will become available for purchase, get on my email list. That'll be in the description. And you'll get an instant 20% discount when it comes out too. So that's all good. And I hope you enjoyed this. So I'll see you later peeps.